Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Diablo to D&D. My name is David and today we're going to be going over poisons. The Poison Necromancer, level 3 and level 10 abilities. But first, I have an announcement. I am going to be down in Vegas for the MagicCon Las Vegas on October 25th through the 27th. So if you're interested in talking to me there, you can come and see it. Come and see me. I will be running a series of one-shots, just kind of introduction to the game, on the 26th. That is the Saturday. I have level 1, 3, and 5 characters, as you can see in the pre-made characters section right here. Brand spanking new. Other than that, let's go on to the campaign update. So we got a new player and got him settled in and situated. We don't know exactly if he's going to be able to join us all that often, but we're welcome to have him. However, last week we didn't have anything going on, so we made the character sheets. So not much for the campaign update. So let's move on to the Changelog, where there is a ton of updates. Going through all of the character sheets, making level 1 characters brought a lot of very close eyes onto how the different abilities were built. Something like Hurricane's at 14th level, but still, I just kind of went through with fine-tooth comb and looked at most of the classes and just stuff that needed to be fixed. For example, the Barbarian's Conjure weapon is now restricted to only non-magical weapons. I'm sorry, you're not summoning Flame Tongue. It has to be throwing, so you're not going to be summoning some poison dagger and chucking it at somebody. Hate to break that to you, but yeah. The Assassin's Martial Arts bonus action Unarmed Strike is now tied to the attack action. I took a look at the difference between, or the balance between the 2014 and the 2024 rules, and decided to go with the lower powered 2014 rules for now, because the 2024 rules are number goes up. So it's going to be built around the balance of 2014. Also on the Assassin, the Tinker's Tools now gives you a set of Tinker's Tools. You kind of need them for your class features, firebombs. You need a set of Tinker's Tools in order to create them. So now you get one. The Druid's starting equipment now gives you any simple weapon and a shield, and either a sling with 20 sling bullets or 2 hand axes. I realized that after I had changed the proficiencies, I had forgotten to change the starting equipment. So that's why that's what it is right now. The Druid's Raven Flock's reach is now 0 feet instead of 5 feet, and its damage cap now works with saving throws. This way, 1, it makes it a little bit more resilient, and 2, it's supposed to be in the creature that they're attacking is supposed to be inside its space anyway, so 0 foot reach, it makes sense. The Druid's Hurricane now affects all ranged attacks, not just weapon attacks, just bumps it up a little bit better and makes it a little bit more useful. Alright, Sorceress's Frozen Armor no longer gives disadvantage on spell attacks. That was unintentional. It was supposed to be just disadvantage on weapon attacks. The Barbarian's Conjure weapon... The Barbarian's Conjured weapons are now magical, and they also grow stronger at 11th and 17th levels, +1 and +2 respectively. They can also be created only on weapon attacks, so you're not casting Firebolt somehow, and just suddenly you have Flaming Dagger. The Druid's Werebear form gives you a +2 AC instead of a +1. Given that you are now starting with a shield, any simple weapon and a shield, so you are encouraged to go for a shield. So I didn't want your AC to go down when you go into Werebear form, so I bumped it up, made it a little bit stronger. The Sorceress's Lightning Enchantment is now restricted to only spell attacks. It was any lightning damage. Kind of, again, with that, I have a Lightning Dagger. No, I want it to be just your spells and abilities. Necromancer's life tap now scales with proficiency. It was just a flat 2. Now I think it is half your proficiency rounded up. I might scale that to your intelligence, but everything else also scales with proficiency, so we'll see. And lastly, the Necromancer's Golem Mastery now gives advantage on Golem attack rolls, Golem damage rolls, and also doubles its hit point maximum. Golem Mastery as an 18th level feature was a bit mediocre. It kind of felt like it was like a level 14 or 13, 14, maybe 15 level feature. So doubling hit points makes them a ton more resilient. I'd considered something like resistance to all damage, but it didn't really feel like that. So just doubling its hit point maximum, that does mean that it is calculated at the end. All right, let's talk poisons. So one of the things that I had really been frustrated with is that poisons didn't seem to be a more central part of Dungeons & Dragons. I kept hearing about, the assassin and the poisoner's kit and all this cool stuff, and then thought, but there are no poisons. Where are they? Well, in this little section right here called Poisons. I believe this is the Dungeon Master's Guide. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't have access to it. But poisons are actually pretty fun. There are 4 different ways you can inflict them. There's contact, something like poison ivy. Ingested, something like you eat something that's allergic to you, or that you're allergic to. Inhaled, like a cloud of mushroom spores or something like that. And injury, which is what we traditionally think of when we think of poison. So something like, while not technically a poison, something like a snake bite. But it's also the poisoned dagger or the poisoned trap and whatnot. So I am not going to go through all of these poisons. You can take a look at them if you so wish. But these are all different ones that you can actually create in the game. However, the Poison Necromancer has an additional one that they can create. Their Poison Dagger ability allows them to just add additional poison damage to their dagger attacks. And that is actually in not just the Diablo, but also the Awakening, the second edition, the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, AD&D version of the game. And so that seems to be pretty, a central part of the game is being able to poison a dagger. The frustrating thing with that is that you're a necromancer, you have a D6. Yeah, sure, you also get a false life or a bone armor, and poisoning somebody does mean that they have disadvantage on weapon attacks, so you can run in, stab somebody, and run away. But you really got to go into that build. So with this revision, I kind of pushed it more towards being able to poison any weapon. Now, the 10th level feature was called Poison Adept. It would cut the amount of time and gold it took to create poisons, and I think it did something else. I would show you what I had, but I was messing around with it, and apparently there's only so many undos you can do, so I just went ahead with the full change, and I'm doing this from memory. But the 3 abilities, Poisoner's Kit and Poison Dagger at level 3, and then Poison Adept at level 10, needed a revision. It just kind of felt fairly weak, like you weren't really doing anything. It didn't feel like you were able to use your abilities. So I redid them. First and foremost, you're a poison necromancer, so getting resistance to poison would be very, very nice. And there are a couple different ways that you can get resistance to poison, so I did some research. First and foremost, dwarves just naturally have advantage on saving throws against poisons and have resistance to poison damage, which is incredibly nice. On top of that, you have your green dragonborn that also pick up poison and poison resistance right there. I think also the Yuan Ti, get that Yuan Ti Pure Blood, but I just looked at the player's handbook. But these are ways that you can get resistance to poison at first level, but there are some class abilities that can give it to you at higher levels. The Circle of the Land Druid, well, the older one, with Nature's Ward at 10th level, you get immunity, straight up immunity to poison. Fighters, the Rune Knight, the Hill Rune, you get advantage on saving throws against being poisoned and resistance to poison damage at 7th level or higher. And then monks, freaking monks, Purity of Body at 10th level, you just get immunity to disease and poison. And then there's a handful of other ones, other class abilities that could give you, like, being able to heal poisons, like the Lay on Hands for the Paladin. And there's a handful of other abilities here and there. But something I noticed about this, your race clearly gives you resistance at first level, but with the class features, you get them at mid-level, 10th level, 7th level, 10th level. And I think even the Druid has a second one. Circle of Spores. Yeah, 14th level feature. You can't be blinded, deafened, or frightened, or poisoned. So there's some pretty good stuff to pull from here. And I think that's pretty much everything for the precursors, so let's go into the main event. So here we are at Poison Adept. Yes, that was the name of the 10th level feature, but we'll get to that again in a little bit. Beginning at 3rd level, you learn to manipulate the poisons of the world. You gain a Poisoner's Kit, proficiency with Poisoner's Kit, resistance to poison damage, and advantage on saving throws against being poisoned and ending the condition. You can also apply poison to weapons and ammunition as a bonus action rather than an action. So, first off, gaining a Poisoner's Kit and proficiency with a Poisoner's Kit, it's a tool proficiency. There's nothing unusual really with that. Now, gaining resistance to poison damage and having advantage on saving throws against being poisoned, that is, like I said, usually a mid-level feature. Given the rest of your 3rd level feature, I don't think it's terribly much of a problem. We'll see how well it works out. I mean, if that is problem, let me know. Also, this last part here, you can also apply poison to weapons and ammunition as a bonus action rather than an action. That is ripped straight off of the Poisoner feat right here. Right there. But I figured that I wanted to give you something to look forward to if you wanted to pick up the Poisoner feat, because that one is pretty darn good. Anyway, back to the Poison Adept. No, I think we're done with that one. So let's go to Rapid Concoction. At 3rd level, your very body becomes poisonous. As a bonus action, you can take 1d4 necrotic damage and create a poison from your blood to coat a weapon or up to 10 pieces of ammunition you are wielding in it. This poison lasts for 1 minute until you coat the weapon or ammunition in another poison or use this ability again. When a creature is hit with a weapon attack using the weapon or ammunition, it must succeed a Constitution saving throw or become poisoned for 1 minute. While poisoned this way, it takes 2d4 poison damage at the start of each of its turns. It can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. And this note here is fairly important. You can pass the weapon or ammunition off to another player. So this is Poison Dagger, but this time it's a little bit better. You damage yourself, 1d4 necrotic damage, but you can poison up to 10 pieces of ammunition, so you don't have to constantly take it. And, much like the other poison daggers, the poison lasts for 1 minute, not until you hit somebody with it. It's not a single-use thing. So the ability to hand the weapon or ammunition off to another player is pretty darn good. The reason being is because you can be a support character. You can poison someone's sword, and then because they have extra attack, they have the option to damage or poison multiple people. So it's pretty darn helpful. Is it too powerful? Is it not powerful enough? It's Constitution, which tends to be the highest, or one of the highest saving throws among creatures, so we'll see. But I think we'll just move on to the 10th level feature, which I think you guys are going to really, really enjoy. Poison Master. When you reach 10th level, your expertise with poisons has reached its peak. You gain expertise with Poisoner's Kit, and the golden time needed to create poisons with it are halved. If you spend the normal amount of time and gold to create a poison, you can change how it is applied. In addition, poisons you apply to weapons and ammunition last 1 minute, rather than a single hit. You also gain immunity to poison and the poisoned condition, and the poison you create with your rapid concoction ability increases to 4d4. So, some really, really juicy stuff in here. The reason why you have resistance to poison damage and advantage is because you just straight up get immunity to the damage and condition at 10th level. You are immersing yourself. The rest of it, the other class abilities are just kind of tangentially related. I mean, even the Druid of Spores is like, it kind of is poison. This one is, you are going all in on poison. So what I really like about the Poison Master ability is if you spend the normal amount of time and gold to create a poison, you can change how it is applied. So going back to the poisons we saw in the Dungeon Master's Guide, there are 4 different ways to apply them: contact, ingested, inhaled, and injury. So if you want to use, say Assassin's Blood, but you don't want to stick around and poison someone's food and walk away, if you spend the normal amount, which is 150 gold, instead of ingested, you can make it inhaled. Now, that being said, you're only getting a 5-foot cube, so you're still applying. The only thing that changes is how it is made. You could turn it into a paste and make it on contact. You could put it into a potion and force it for an injury or something like that. So, yeah, I think it's pretty darn good. Now, I do want to point out, this does not count towards Rapid Concoction. Rapid Concoction is immediately your blood becomes a poison. This does not change that. So even though, the poisons you apply to weapons and ammunition, that probably should be clarified to be just the poison you create with your Poisoner's Kit, but whatever. But this does allow you to get some of those more dangerous poisons, apply them to your ammunition, and, crossbow, run up, dagger, sword, whatever. The last little bit here, your poison with your rapid concoction ability bumps up to 4d4. Your 10th level, it should be a little bit more damaging. Now, we'll see. I don't think Poison Explosion and Poison Nova change anything or have anything change with this, because this is your Poisoner's Kit. But let's see. Nope. Okay, they're not changed, so I don't have to change anything. Hooray. Anyway, I think that is a ton of fun. I want to see the Poison Necromancer become actually good. There's nothing really that it can do in the course of a normal campaign. You kind of have to go out of your way to use a Poisoner's Kit, and it is pretty expensive. Especially the early levels. So that's one of the reasons why I was, more keen on adding something in for your Poison Adept for that the resistance and advantage. Also, as a side note, as a bonus action, applying poisons as a bonus action, and Rapid Concoction is a bonus action. The idea for the Rapid Concoction is that you just kind of you grab the blade and you cut your hand, and it coats your dagger or sword or whatever in a poison. Also, the fact that you're making it from your blood and the fact that you have the resistance to poison damage kind of is like your body's becoming poisonous. I mean, that's exactly what it said right there. But anyway, I think that is going to be it. And yeah, I think I'll just end it there. You can find me at XenosFan2, that is XENOZFAN2 on Twitter and Reddit. And you can contact the channel directly at Diablo, TODND, on Twitter and YouTube. Thank you much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good whatever.